Legion of Superheroes, issue 9,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Michael Bendis, and 20 artists. So
Yeah.
Give or take.
Some pretty good heavy hitters, which I tried to talk Connor into reading this, based off of Gary Frank.
He showed me one page and didn't tell me what it was. I was like, "Is that Tula Lote?" And I was like, "Oh, very nice."
So I'll just list some of the names we got here. We got David Marquez, Ryan Sook, Joe Quinones, Mike Grell, Ivan Reese, Nick Darrington, James Herron, JR, Nicole Scott, Art Adams, Jim Chung, which was very un-Jim Chung, Gary Frank, Tula Lote, Riley Rosmo, Jen Lun Yang, Kevin Nolan, Michael Fife, Jenny Frisian, Manuela Lupacino, Ryan Sook, and Mitch Gerrits. Real heavy hitters of art. And the art, when it shows up, is really good, but there's some decisions here. So this is a continuation of the trial of the Legion, where they're in trouble for basically existing and getting involved with Rimbor and the Krav General Na. But like, you have a character named Monster Boy, right? And you got Riley Rosmo. Why not have Riley Rosmo do the Monster Boy page? No, instead we get Rosmo on Triplicate Girl, and it's just doing that Kyle Rayner-esque crab. It didn't work for me on that one. Instead, who did the Monster Boy page? It was, hold on, this is what I hate about the digital comics, is going back and forth on trying to figure out what the page number is, because they don't line up exactly. I'm pretty sure it was Nick Darrington that did the Monster Boy page.
You like Darrington.
Yeah, and it's fine, but I'm just thinking, Rosmo. And anyways, but yeah, so just over the story, we get more origins of some of the Legion here. So like, we see Monster Boy's audition, to where, they try to tell him, oh, we already have a Morph and Chameleon Boy. He's like, yeah, but mine's a little bit different, in that I support the idea of the Legion. And then you find out that some of the other members, despite not agreeing that the Legion should be there, they're still a part of it. So like, that's how Wildfire ends up on the team. Is he's, they realize that he's not a wild card, but like a powerhouse. And they kind of want him on the team, even though he's kind of like, yeah, but I don't like the idea of this splitting the United Planets. But, they welcome him on the team anyways. There's a lot of reckoning of the president, of President Brand, and kind of her moves. And you get the fact that she's never showed her true face to anybody outside of her son. So there's still some sneaky stuff going on there. But as the trial goes on, you kind of see that the general from Rimbor is still upset that they interceded. Then it's revealed that Dream Girl has been having these, or Dreamer as they're calling her here, has had these visions, and they're coming true. And that's where we get to the big thing that people were losing their mind over this time, is she hints about a great darkness is coming, and it's in, kind of New Gods font. And for those that are unaware, when it comes to Legion history, is there's a story of the original Legion called the Great Darkness Saga, and it basically is, it keeps building to this big bad, the end of times type, and it turns out to be Darkseid. The Darkseid's still, hanging around in their century, and characters live and die, and it's this big, huge, it's almost like a Legion crisis before crisis. And it's this big deal. So the fact that Dreamer is getting this, that there's a great darkness coming no matter what happens between the United Planets, it's almost like it kind of undercuts the Legion's stay, that, peace will bring it all, and this kind of is like, well, how much does RJ Brand know about this? And this is what is putting, the president's plans into effect. But the Great Darkness Coming is the page I shared with Connor, because it's Tula Lote drawing Dreamer full on gold. Like, it's really beautiful.
It is a gorgeous page. I can testify to that.
And the page before that's Gary Frank, and it's Dreamer standing up to the general, and explaining about how her powers work. Is that Brainiac's been recording her dreams, and that's how they're able to see this. And even they're like, "Wait, can you do that?" Which is pretty good. But we also get Mon-El attacking the general and getting into trouble and flying off, being super moody. Which starts to make me wonder if that he's a descendant of Connor Kent and not John, because the early showings of Connor is he's very emo, and a lot closer to Mon-El. Seeing Yang's art was pretty cool. It's very cartoony looking. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, but it's he does a 9-panel grid and gets to play with a different character in each of them. So it's cool. I like to see Yang there. But yeah, I don't want to say it's all over the place, but it still feels very disjointed. But yeah, so towards the end, they end up, getting the president to realize that the Legion does have a purpose, and that the planet Rimbor is chaos, and that they need to be reeled in for the good of the galaxy. And that turns out that the Legion experiment is working. So then that leads John to the last page, which is done by Garrett's. Leads him to questioning, like, he's not supposed to be here. Like, he's not supposed to know about a lot of this happening. So why is he still here? Why are they allowing this? And it ends up with him and Imra kissing at the end. And she tells him that she doesn't have to hide his romantic thoughts. And it's the Garrett's page, and it looks very Garrett's. There's a lot of lens flares. It looks fantastic. So if you do pick this up just for the art, it's just, there's a lot going on. And I almost wish this was just more, like I said last time, if these were little like interstitials of the Legion characters and a little bit more of their origins, versus Bendis trying to tell a story which kind of gets lost in all the different, artist changes. Because it took me a little bit to read this, because I kept having to go back, because when there's an artist that you don't quite recognize, like, of course you get to JRJR, and it, and it's, the Wildfire page, and I like Wildfire a lot, so to have to see that, I wasn't too thrilled. But yeah, so you start with Marquez, and you end with Garrett's, and it's not that bad. So, yeah. Pete, you ever going to catch up with this, or are you done with Legion?
I'm probably done.
Yeah, of course. I'm here for the long haul.
I mean,
there's a great darkness.
The long haul is probably only going to be another 4 or 5 issues, so don't worry about it.
Maybe, it does make me wondering what he's doing there and why it's still allowed, this timey-wiminess.
Because the last couple of issues I read were, I don't want to say a chorty read, but they were definitely kind of exhausting. Like
they are.
Typically, I was leaving them till the end of whatever my pile of books was. I'd get to the Bendis Legion issue. It'd be a bunch of characters that he doesn't properly introduce.
Every single week it would be, I've just got one book left, so I'll be, I'll be on time, and they'd be like, oh, it's Legion. Okay, never mind. We'll be 15 minutes late.
Yep.
That sounds about right. So, yeah, I don't, you know what? I'm not against Legion. I definitely, the Patreon book that I read, the Talking Superman made me read, was definitely pretty good. I'm definitely not against reading some Legion stuff. I just don't think this particular Bendis book on Legion is the one to start me off properly on it.
There's almost too much going on, and he is pulling from different eras and throwing them all into one. And again, I appreciate what's going on, but almost like Young Justice is too unfocused.
Mm-hmm.
These last 2 issues were that in a nutshell. And I don't know if it's just the art, or, if we had one artist doing the trial scenes, and then the other artists coming in and doing the introductions, if it would have helped.
Honestly,
there would have been some cohesion.
That was always a pretty bad idea, right? It sounds great from marketing, like, look at all these all-star artists we've got, but it doesn't make for a cohesive storytelling experience, does it?
And when you're me and you have to know who's art, right, when it doesn't pop, I can't just let it go and just read it and go
constantly flicking back and forth to find out.
Like, is this Lupacino? Yeah, it is Lupacino. Because with some of the designs of the Legion characters, it's not the same. It's not the Luke Pacino I'm used to. But yeah, so if I'm rating this, I'm gonna give it a 7 because it's pretty good. It's just a bit, disassociative, I guess you can say, because it's all over the place, but the art's good. Like when it's good, but when it's not so good, you got Rosmo, who I'm not particularly like. It's not bad, and even the JRJ art's not bad. It's just it stops you because you're taking out that. Oh, now it's this, and again, I won't forgive him for not giving Monster Boy to Rosmo, who's like, that's like his thing, is these ghastly kind of images. So yeah.
All right. Did you read it?
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry. May have been reading something.
Thanks for paying attention.